A warm welcome to everyone from Excellent Excel. Hope you all are safe and doing well. Thank you all for enrolling in this event. Excellent Excel welcomes you all. For those of you who didn't know about Excellent Excel, here's a gist. Excellent Excel is a data analytics firm that solves high-impact business problems using data and technology. We provide end-to-end services in the field of data analytics and data visualization. Our core services include analytics, consulting, and training. Excellent Excel presents the popular talk show EiEFreshTalk on its YouTube channel, where it hosts great leaders and subject matter experts in various fields from India and abroad to speak regularly on a variety of topics ranging from Excel to analytics and finance to financial modeling and many more. Some of our past events are Advanced Excel for Valuation Modeling by CA Gopal Krishna Raju and Creating Amazing Visualization with Power Maps in Excel by Puneet Chanda. We are happy to share our website EiEFreshTalk by Excellent Excel has been selected as one of the top 5 Microsoft Excel podcasts on the web by feedspot.com. We are also happy to share the first ever annual gathering of Microsoft Excel Global Community, which is planned from 6th to 9th February 2021, the Global Excel Summit, a 4-day event with 17 plus speakers and 1,000 plus attendees. Learn from the top excellent practitioners in the world, connect with people in all lines of business, and last but not the least, excel with masterclasses. We are proud to share that Excellent Excel is associated as a media partner for the Global Excel Summit. Use the promo code Excellent Excel and get special prizes on various products and courses. Sir, would you like to address about the Global Excel Summit?
Yes, please. Yeah. Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Abiola David. I'm an Excel MVP from Nigeria. As you've heard, the Global Excel Summit will be coming up next weekend. So I'm going to enjoin you to subscribe and join the summit because there's a lot of things to learn in Excel. There are quite so many experts that will be showing us so many new things in Excel. And I hope it's going to be a wonderful summit that you won't forget in a hurry. So make sure you join the Global Excel Summit. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Joining us today, we have our speaker for the day, Mr. Abiola David. Mr. Abiola David is a Microsoft Excel, Power BI, and SQL Server consultant, speaker, author, blogger, and a Microsoft Excel MVP. Abiola is the founder of ExcelJet Consult, a leading data analyst hub located in Lagos, Nigeria. He believes that more advanced professionals are in using the productivity and business intelligence tools like Excel and Power BI, the more efficient and productive they become. In light of these, he uses his vast knowledge to help companies improve their business processes and decision making. He has trained professionals both in public and private sector in Nigeria, and he loves to share his knowledge via blog posts, YouTube videos, answering questions of Microsoft tech community and other programs. We welcome you, sir. It's a pleasure having you with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity once again to share my Excel knowledge on your platform. It's a wonderful opportunity, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. Before we begin, I request participants to join me in welcoming today's speaker with a hi in the chat section. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box. We will later present it to the speaker. And do not forget to subscribe our video on our channel for more instant updates. Over to you, sir.
All right, so thank you once again for the opportunity to join you this afternoon in Nigeria, and I believe it's already evening in India, and we welcome all our guests from different parts of the world. Thank you so much for joining us. It's quite going to be an interesting session rather. We have so many things to cover in Excel, probably something that you've seen before or not seen. We'll be covering that. So I want you to stay tuned, and if you have questions, please ask the questions because at the end of the session, we'll be taking the questions and answer appropriately. So once again, I'm so happy, delighted to be with you guys, and I hope we'll learn so many things together. So let's dive in. Now, as I've been introduced, my name is Abiola David. I'm from Lagos, and I'm the founder of ExcelJet Consult. In 2020, I was fortunate to be awarded the prestigious Microsoft MVP in Excel contribution area that is under the Office and Office apps and services category. And well, I'm so happy for the opportunity to be in that exalted class of gurus, so to speak, in Excel. Now, you're doing a good job because I remember the last 2 weeks or thereabouts, you brought Mr. Michael Olafusi, a senior colleague and a six-time MVP. So it's a good guy and it's a wonderful presentation. So I appreciate you for please putting this program together so that the entire community in Excel and Power BI can learn from the lead experts and at the same time become better. Now, let's dive into Excel. What we have in stock for us. So I'm going to share my screen, and I believe we can see my screen. Now, we have quite a lot of topics to cover in Excel. And as the title of this presentation is, we want to consider some of the powerful function that is crucial in our day-to-day Excel use. And we all know the powerful dynamic array family functions. Now I want to see some of the core functions in the dynamic array functions that we can actually use on a day-to-day basis, which can make us to be efficient, productive, and become even better in Excel. So we'll be considering the art of dynamic array function. And of course, I'll be making some presentation, just a slide presentation on the new released LAMBDA function, which is probably the new game changer in Excel. And then we'll be considering the Wolfram alpha data types in Excel. If time permits us, we'll also consider the Power Query data types. Now, without wasting much of our time, I'm going to proceed to share with you what I have in stock for us. Now, in the first tab here, we want to see how to perform multiple criteria filter in Excel. Now, traditionally, before the advent of the dynamic array functions, if you want to probably perform filtering, you get your the filter buttons ready and you begin to filter. Now, this is the old school method. Now, with dynamic array function, filter function, you can do this seamlessly without having to go through the old method. And that's one of the things we'll be considering. So basically, we'll be looking at all the functions in the dynamic array family, okay, which are the sort, the unique, the filter, the sequence, and the sort by function. Now, let's start. Now, we have this sample data set formatted as an Excel table. Now, if you check the table design tab, I've given a meaningful name to this data set. Now, what I want to do is I need two drop downs in cell J1 and J2. And let's see how to achieve the drop down. So what I'm going to do is come to cell K2 because I actually want to extract all the unique value for the customer type and the state, which I'm going to create subsequent drop downs. So in cell K2, I'm going to deploy the unique and the sort dynamic array functions. So I'm going to start by typing equal sign, then deploy the unique. Okay. Now the unique returns the unique value from a range or an array, and I'm going to press my tab key. Now the unique requires a single compulsory argument and two optional arguments. So we only need to provide the input value for the array. Now what we want, we actually want to go to the customer type column on our data set. Now, because this data is formatted as an Excel table, I can actually just watch out by moving my cursor just over it, and I see this black pointed down arrow key. So I select the entire range, excluding the headers, that is the customer type. Then I close the parentheses. Now, if I deploy F9, now I can actually see all the values that it's going to deliver. Okay, so Control Z to go back. And at the same time, I want to sort it. So I'm going to wrap sort function outside that, and that's going to deliver in the default ascending order. So when I press Control or F9, so I can actually see what's going to deliver in ascending order: consumer, corporate, and so on. Control Z. Now, if I deploy Control Enter, it's going to spill to the neighboring cells below. Okay. However, it's going to return an error. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap everything inside the transpose function so that we can actually have it in columns, not in rows. So having deployed the transpose, just come right in here and I close the parentheses and I do Control Enter. So we have extracted all the unique customer type, and at the same time, we have sorted them in ascending order, which is the default. That is using the sort dynamic array function. And then we can come to cell J2 and proceed to the data tab. Under the data tab, we have the data tools group, and I click on data validation. And then I want to allow a list, so I select list. And for my source data, now because this is actually a dynamic spilled range, I can actually just select the cell and I apply the hash or the pound sign. Now, Excel understands that I'm telling it to return all the value in that spilled range. So I click on OK. And then we have this drop down. Now, the shortcut that I can actually use to select anything from the data validation drop down is pressing Alt down arrow key. Okay, so you can actually see all the 4 customer type segments. So let's select, for example, corporate. Now, the same thing I'm going to do for state. I'm going to just speed that up. Transpose. Then I deploy the sort function dynamic array and the unique, and I come to the many sides because we have the many side of the state, just like the customer type. So I click on this and I select the range, and we have the name of the table, and inside the square bracket we have the name of the column, just like what we had in the corporate customer type. So I close the first parenthesis for the unique, second one for the sort, and the third one for the transpose function. And then when I deploy F9, it's going to deliver Berlin, Lagos, London, New York, and Paris in ascending order. Control Z, and I deploy Control Enter. So we have all the extracted, all the unique state sorted. And again, come right in here, data validation, and I want to allow a list from this settings tab, and I choose list. And then I come to the source, just select K2, and I deploy the pound or the hash sign to give me all the value in that range. And I click on OK. So let's select a state from this. You can actually do what we've just done, Alt down arrow key, and select any state. Now that's just one step of the whole operation. Now I want to move to filtering the multiple criteria. Now to do that, I'm going to just start by typing the filter function, which is perhaps the most powerful function in the dynamic array family functions. Now the filter function, as we know, filter a range or an array. So I'm going to press my tab key, and the filter function requires 2 arguments. The first one is the array, and of course, the include is the second argument, which is going to be based on the array. And then we have the if empty, which is an optional argument. So for the array, it's exactly what I want to return entirely. So because my data is formatted as an Excel table, I just come here and check for this diagonal black arrow, and I select the entire table, which is named MFTBL, then comma. Now, because we are dealing with multiple criteria, I'm going to open parentheses, and then what I want to do, I want to check if this many side here of the customer type column is equal to the selected customer type in cell J1. Then I close that. Now, because this is an operation, I'm going to deploy the asterisk or the multiplication sign, which is going to give me the and, because we are doing multiple criteria, and open another parenthesis. And I want to check by selecting all the states. I want to check, is it equal to the selected state in cell J2? And that's all. So I close my filter. When I deploy F9, okay, I need one more close parenthesis for my filter, and I deploy F9. So we can actually see what it's going to be doing. That's going to be Cairo, New York, corporate, meaning this is going to be the sales manager, the states, the customer type, the items, the units, and the price and the total. And then we have the semicolon moving to the next row in that order. So everything is looking good. Control Z to go back and Control Enter. Amazing. So we've been able to filter our data sets using multiple or 2 criteria. So we can actually see these are all for the state of New York based on this. and then the customer type, which are corporate. And then we can see that we have how many records in total? 8 records. Now, if I come here and I select another customer type, let's say I want to select home office, and everything dynamically update because it is formula based. And this is perhaps one of the powerful things in Excel that is enabled as a result of the new dynamic array function. Now let's select another state. Let's choose Berlin. So you can actually see all the records for Berlin and for the home office. So this is essentially how we do multiple filtering in Excel, which we can do with the filter dynamic array function. Now, let me move to the next topic. Now, over here, we want to do something interesting. We want to actually use the Sumifs with the filter function as well as the Xlookup function. Now, let's see this scenario. Now we have the same data set formatted as an Excel table. Now I actually have those two headings, heading 1 and 2 here. So I'm going to come here. I need 2 drop downs. So select this cell J2, come to data validation, and I select a list from this. And then for the source, I want to reference just few of the headers, that is the sales manager to items. Then I click OK. So we have this drop down ready. Okay, so we can actually select from there. And then I need another drop down. So I don't need to recreate that because you can actually copy and paste data validation and it's going to work pretty fine. So I'm just going to come here, Control C to copy, and I paste Control V, and then Alt down arrow key. Let's select the state. And we have the 2 drop downs. Now I actually made something here that when I select any heading from this data validation drop down, everything will update, including here. So I'm going to just do a single joining together of the value here and the value here. So equal sign, I click on cell J2 and I deploy the ampersand sign, and I need a space, another ampersand sign, and then in between I want what's called a the cross, and I want another space. I mean, that's a pipe rather, and cell K2. So we have this ready. Now, when I choose, let's say, sales manager, it updates here, and that's exactly what I'm trying to achieve. Now, in here, I'm going to deploy yet the powerful filter function in combination with the sort and the filter dynamic array functions. So equal sign, deploy the filter, and then it's going to ask me what exactly do I want. Now, in this case, I actually just want, okay, let me just select this state. And then after that, excuse me, and comma. So let me just do filter, let me just filter all the states. Okay, or let's use the Xlookup function, equal sign, the Xlookup. And for the Xlookup, we're going to ask me what's the lookup value. And I take this value and comma. So the lookup array, I want to go through these headers, comma, and I want to return this entire data, the entire array, okay? And that's all, close parentheses, and I deploy enter. Now it gave me all the lists, okay? Now I need the sort and the unique dynamic array functions. So F2 to open the formula, and I come after, before the equal sign, sort, and then I want the unique, and that's all. Close the parentheses for the unique and the sort, and control enter. Now we have the unique sales manager. So when I come here and I change it to, let's say, items, so everything updates. Now this is for the rows, and we need the same thing for the columns, okay? So just come right here and do the same thing, equal sign the Xlookup, and the lookup value is going to be the value is the K2, comma, and the lookup array is the entire headers, and the return array is going to be the entire table, and I close the parentheses, and then deploy the transpose because I actually want it to be in columns, not in rows. So transpose, and then I deploy the sum and the unique functions. So close the parentheses and I deploy control enter. So we have all the states, Berlin, Lagos, and so on and so forth. So when I come here and I choose, let's say, customer type, it updates, and that's exactly what I'm trying to achieve. Now let's do our calculation here. I'm going to deploy the sum ifs function, which many of us actually knows about. Now the sum ifs requires the sum range of the first arguments. So actually I want to sum the entire total and comma. And for the criteria range one, I'm going to deploy the Xlookup function. And the Xlookup requires again lookup value. So I want to look up this value, comma. I want to pick it up in this headers, and I want to return this entire table. And then I can actually just close the Xlookup, and I'm back to the sum ifs. So this is the input value for the criteria range one. So when I do F9, so we can actually see that it's really working, giving us all the items, both apple, avocado, blackberries, and so on. Control Z. Now, comma. So for the comma. Now for the criteria one, I'm going to select this cell. Now, because this value is also as a result of dynamic speed range, so I can actually do pound sign and it give me all the list. And that is the criteria one, comma. Now for criteria two, I'm going to deploy yet another Xlookup. And again, want to look up this value, comma, in this entire array, and want to return the entire table. And I close the Xlookup, comma, criteria two is going to be the value in cell K2, and I do pound or the hash sign, and it's giving all the value in that range. So close parentheses, and we can do F9. All right, so it's really working. Now we're going to have 133, 770. Now this is going to be the total sales for Apple and consumer, and the second one is going to be for Apple and corporate, and so on and so forth. So after the fourth one, anyway, we have the semicolon. Now after the semicolon, it's going to move to the next row. So this 393576 is going to be for avocado and for consumer customer type segments. So Control Z and then Control Enter. Amazing. Let's apply the currency in our regional settings, Control Shift right and down arrow key, Control Shift 4, and then we have all the total sales generated. So this is a cross tab report. And then if we come here and let's want to choose state, it updates. You can actually, for the state of Paris, for example, we made 13,470 for strawberries items. So let's change this one. So let's say sales manager, and we can actually see color relevant for the state of Berlin. We made $195,296. So this is essentially how we can actually use the sum ifs, even with the Xlookup function and with the unique and the sort to create a cross-tab report. Now I'm going to just move to the new LAMBDA function as we progress. Now I'm going to come to this new sheet, CN, that is conditional formatting using the LAMBDA function. Now, quite so many of us we have seen so many videos on the newly released LAMBDA function, such a powerful function that can do a lot. Now, in my effort to actually see the power of the LAMBDA function, I try to say, okay, is it possible for me to use the LAMBDA function inside a conditional formatting? Okay, because I'm actually not seeing anybody talking about using the LAMBDA function inside the conditional formatting or even inside the data validation. So I'm going to actually share with you how to actually highlight an entire group of data sets using a LAMBDA function, a custom function. All right. Now let's see how to achieve this operation. Now, before I do that, let's just make sense of our data set. Now we have this data set again, not formatted as an Excel table. It's just in a normal range. All right. Now we have the date all through to the sales amount. Now, if you look at this table to the right, we can actually see all the list of the account manager's name, and we have the target amount for each of the account manager. Now, for example, let's take this in row 2, Abiola David here. Now, the target for Abiola David is $20,000. However, he recorded $5,120 for this particular date, September or the 9th of August 2010. Now, after we run our conditional formatting, we are expecting this not to be highlighted because it is below the target amount. The sales amount generated is below the target amount. Now, let's see the second one. Now, we have account manager Fib Harden. The sales amount is 41,891. And when I come to the target is just $32,500. Now, this is actually above the target, and we are expecting this to be highlighted. Now, let's see how to do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is to just create a paper column so that we will understand the basic behind this. So equal sign. So I want to check this value is the E2, is it greater than or equal to, then I deploy the powerful filter function. That's one of the functions I love so much in Excel. It's able to do a lot. Now, for the array, what I want to return, I'm going to select this. From A1 to A12, I'm going to make it absolute so that when I copy the formula down, it will not move relatively. So having selected that comma, now for the include argument, I want to check is the value in cell C2, is it equal to all this, our unique account managers list? And of course, want to make that to be absolute by pressing F4 key 1. So close the filter and let's do F9. Boom. It's going to return false, which is accurate because the sales for Abiola David $5,120 is below the target of about 30,000 or thereabouts. So this is accurate. Control Z to go back and Control Enter, and then this return false. When I copy the formula down the autofill, now this actually return true because indeed 41,000 plus is greater than $32,500. Now, this is exactly what we need in our formula. Now, as the rule of thumb, if you want to highlight an entire row in your conditional formatting, for the data that you want to apply the conditional formatting on, you need to ensure that the columns are made absolute while the rows are made relative. So we need a mixed cell reference. So I'm going to just come here and I'm going to just make this, E2 by pressing F4 key 1, 2, 3. So I've locked down the column E and I come to this cell C2 here and I make it to be mixed cell reference and I lock down the column C also. And that's exactly what I need. So you can just copy this one down. Look, not necessary. Then I'm going to come here or deploy the F2 to open the formula, Control A to select the formula, Control C to copy, and escape. That's exactly what I need. Now, let's just create our lambda to just check it out whether I'm going to get this same result. So I'm going to come here, deploy the lambda function. Now, having deployed the lambda function, I just need a parameter. Let me just say CFA, comma, and I'm going to put this formula when I copy it across, get rid of this equal sign, and exactly that's what I need. So close my lambda formula. Now, if I do Control Enter, I'm going to get the calc error, which is peculiar to dynamic calculations. So to recall, that is to get exactly either false or true, open parenthesis. So I'm actually recalling this formula. And then I just click on cell E2, close parenthesis, Control Enter. And that gave us false. When I copy down, it's going to return exactly what we have here. So our formula is working. So come inside here, Control A to copy, select, Control C to copy, escape. Then we need to create our custom function in the named range. Now the named range is located in the formulas tab, and in the defined names group, we have the name manager. Or you can even do the shortcut F3 to open up the name manager. and we have it ready. So these are all my tables in this entire workbook. So I want to create a custom function. Click on new, and in here I need to give a name for my custom function. So let's say highlight entire row, and then I'm going to paste my formula here. Now, before I paste my formula, I need to actually explain something. Now, if you're trying to go through this kind of reference here, it's going to cause error. Now, if you want to do that, please always ensure you press F2. F2 will put all this cell reference in the edit mode. You can actually go through them one after the other, just like this. Okay, let me press F2 again. Okay, let me just paste my formula, Ctrl V, and I need to get rid of this, the open parenthesis E2, and then you can press F2 to go through the formulas, and that will go. It's not working. Okay, let me just redo that. Anyway, you need to press F2 to highlight entire rows. So come here, just get rid of this, paste, and we get rid of this. And this is exactly what we need. Now, this function, the custom function, will be visible in the entire workbook, and that's the scope. So you don't need to touch that. So in case if you want to just put a comment, you can always add a comment, but we don't need that. So just click on OK. All right, so our custom function named highlight an entire row, highlight entire row is ready. Now let's see how to use that. So I'm going to just get rid of this. Now, of course, as we know, to apply conditional formatting, you need to select the cell or the cells you want to apply the conditional formatting. So Ctrl Shift, right and down arrow key, Control backspace to move back up, and then you come to the Home tab of the ribbon, and we want to set a new rule. So I click on New Rule, and then in the New Formatting Rule dialog box, we want to use a formula to determine which cell to format. So I click on this, and then we need our formula here. Now I can actually press F3, which shows the paste name. Okay, that will actually save me from having to type in highlight entire rows in here. So just select this, and then now I need open parentheses. So I'm actually trying to do that, but it's not working. Now, the first time I was actually trying to do this, I was taken aback, thinking it's not possible to use a custom function inside conditional formatting. I almost quit, but I just figured it out that there's a limitation which I probably spoken of on my LinkedIn, that when we use a custom function inside the conditional formatting and you're trying to open parentheses, which I'm trying to do now, it's not obeying. So I've actually made a post on this, and I hope the Excel team will work on it so that you can actually put in the open parentheses. So it's not working. So the trick to ensuring that the open parentheses works is that you click on this format, you set your format first, and then when we set our format, then it will be available. So let's just apply a field. Let's use something not pronounced, and then I can actually click OK. Now, when I come back here again and I try to do open parentheses, it's going to work. That's perhaps the limitation that I've actually seen in trying to use a custom function inside a conditional formatting. You can actually try the same thing in your own time and see whether it's going to work or not. So open parentheses, and then I just need this cell E3, and of course want to make it to be a mixed cell reference F3, F4 rather 1, 2. So the dollar sign is locking down the column E, and the row 2 is relative. Then close the parentheses, and this is our simple formula. So when we do OK, amazing. So it's actually working, okay? So we can actually see, for example, the target for Nicholas Dean is how much? 25,000, and it surpassed that, and that gave 44. That's 44,000, and that was highlighted. And let's see for another one, for example, Phil Harding, and when we check here, it's working. Okay, so let's move to the next one using the LAMBDA function to sum between months. And then we can actually see, for example, Phil Harding, and when we check here, it's working. Okay, so let's move to the next one using the LAMBDA function to sum between months. And then we can actually see, for example, Phil Harding, and when we check here, it's working. Okay, so let's move to the next one using the LAMBDA function to sum between and this is going to be an interesting one. So we'll be using combination of the lambda, the lets, and the filter function. So let's see what we need. Actually need all the month here. So the list of the month equal time. Okay, I just need to just type in January 2020, and I can actually drag it to December. Okay, and then I need all the list of the casts. All right, so come here, I deploy the transpose and the sort function, and as well as the unique, and then I select the entire list in this cast column. So close all the parentheses and control enter. So we have all this ready. So let me just copy this. I'm going to reuse that in a moment. So I'm going to copy this, Ctrl C, and let's paste here, Ctrl V, and let's paste. Okay, all right, so let's see how to use the let function. Now I'm going to come here, start equal sign the let. As we know, the let function is also a powerful function. Now for this my let, I need to provide the name one and the cell reference and the rest. So for my name one, I'm going to say start of month, then comma. So for name value one, I want to reference the value itself, H2. Now, because after the end of the whole thing, I'm going to copy the formula across. So I need to make sure that the column H is absolute. So F4 key, 1, 2, 3, comma. Now, for the calculation name tool, I need the end of month. So just type in the end of month and then comma. Now for this, I need this value also, but I'm going to use the EO month function, and it requires the start date, which is going to be the value of H2, F4 key, 1, 2, 3, comma. And we want to move to the end of that current month. So for that, I'm going to just put in 0. So 0 will return the end of that current month. So I close the parentheses. Now, comma. So the third one is actually need this, the cast at the above. So let's just put something, meaningful, unique cast. Let's have just parameters and then comma. And for this, select the value in cell I1. And because I'm going to copy the formula down also, I need to make sure that the row one is made absolute. So F4 key, 1, 2, and that's code, comma. Now I need to put in my calculation. So let me just say calculation, comma. And in here, I want the filter function, press the tab key. And for the filter, what I want to return the sales amount, okay, comma. And then for the include argument, let me just move this here. For the include arguments, open parentheses, we have about 3 and operations. So for this, I want to check this date. I want to check, is it greater than or equal to, now I need to now pass in this parameter inside here. Is it greater than or equal to the start of month? And I close that parenthesis, the asterisk sign for another and operation, open parenthesis, and check the same date column. Check is it less than or equal to end of month. Okay, and then I close that up. One more open parenthesis. I want to check, is this list, is it equal to the unique car? So this, I'm going to just call this passing, just type in unique cars, and then close. Okay, and I close my the filter formula. Now we are back to the left. So, comma. Now for the calculation of name file, now I'm going to just sum my calculation here. Just use the sum function, and I just type in calculation. Okay, open, press my tab key rather, close the formula, and I close the left. When I do control enter, boom, it gave 16,885,800. That's cool. Now, when I try to copy this formula across and down, it's going to be showing the calc error, except this, that's going to show the meaningful results. So to achieve the accurate results for other ones, I'm going to press Control Z to go back. So Control C to copy, and then I select this entire range, and I Control V to paste the formula, and exactly, so it return all the results. So you can actually say, for example, that in the month of July 2020, the value of the Ford cars we sold is 17,135,000 plus, and that's cool. So you can even see what's going on in the formula by deploying Control Shift U, which expand the formula bar. So to collapse that, I can always deploy Control Shift U again. So this is our formula that is working. Let me just copy this without equal sign, Control C, and then let's try this out inside the lambda function. Now, Control Shift U, okay, equal sign, lambda, okay? Now the lambda, as we know, creates a function value which can be called within formulas, okay? So press my tab key. Now, the lambda function as parameter or the calculation. So the first rule of thumb is you provide the parameters and then your calculation. So I actually just need 3 parameters. So let me just scroll up. Okay, now for my first parameter, I need it based on this my data set. So I'm going to just do date, comma. I'm going to just specify all the 3 of them once and for all. Then I'm going to do cars, comma, and the sales amount. Right. These are all the parameters that I need for my lambda. Then paste the let formula that we copied across. Let me just move this so that I can see what you're doing clearly. Now, what I need to do is to just pass in this my lambda parameters inside my filter around here. So just come here. So for my array, I'm going to just say the sales amount. And for my d date, for my lambda date, get rid of this carefully so that I don't, okay, and I'm going to substitute that with d date. So this is d sys amount, d date, and of course we have this, it's going to be d date. Okay, carefully do that. And for this, we want the d cards. Okay, so we have passed in all our lambda parameters inside our let. Now we try to control enter, it's going to give an error. So to record that, open parentheses, and then in the order that I specified the 3 parameters, which are the d date governing the date column in column A, the d cars governing the cars in column C, and the sales amount in column F, I need to provide that in that order. So open parentheses, which you've done. So select the entire lambda date, which is the name of the table and the name of the column, comma, and then for the cars, and finally for the sales amount. Okay, so I close my parentheses and I control enter. Oh, it's giving 188. Oh, and there's something wrong somehow. Let me just verify. Control Shift. Okay, Control Shift U. I'm actually expecting this same result. Let me check it clearly. Okay, we have this amount, right? Okay, I'm checking something where the problem is coming from. Now this. Okay, let me do sys amounts. That's fine. I'm checking where the problem is coming from. Okay, let me just quickly redo that. Okay, let me just type in lambda d date. Okay, let me copy this. Control A, Control C, escape. Okay, lambda. Open my parentheses. Okay, d date. Let me just use date, comma, and we want the cars and sales amount. Okay, and I paste this in here. So let me get rid of this. Okay, let me check. So we have these. All right, everything is looking good, good, good. Filter for my calculation. All right. So the sales amount, just get rid of these, and I'm going to record the D or sales amount. And for this date, D date, Okay, or date rather. And for this, it's going to be date also. Okay, and I think everything is looking good. Okay, one more thing here. Let's make it cars. Okay, let's close parentheses, open parentheses, and let's select this date column, comma, and the cars, and this. Okay, good, exactly, yeah. So we have to actually achieve the same result. So actually did something probably wrong. So we have the same result, 16,885. So Control C to copy, and then let's select this entire cells and cells Control V, and you can actually see that our lambda is working. So we achieve the same result just like the LEDs. Now, having done this, we can now go ahead and create our custom function. So just copy all this, excluding these other ones that we used to recall the function. So just copy all this carefully. Okay, copy everything, Control C, escape. Now we can deploy F3 to open the name manager, and then we create a new, and let's say by month. It's going to be our custom function name, and then we can just get rid of this. Let's delete all this. F2. Okay, it's working now. And then we can paste our formula. Okay, let's check whether everything is going fine. Okay, good. Close, and then we can close this. Now let's go ahead and test our sum by month custom function. So I'm going to just come here and deploy equal sign sum by month. So I come here, press my tab key, open parentheses. So I'm going to come to here, my data, and let's go up. So I select the entire date in that order, comma. So we need the cars, comma, and the sales amount, and I close parentheses and control enter. So let's see, amazing. So you can actually see that it worked. So we have this simple, easy to read formula, custom function. It's really working. So Control C, let's go ahead and paste in our selected cells. Control V, and we achieve exactly the same result to create a cross tabular report. So this is essentially how we use the powerful LAMBDA function to create a custom function that we can reuse. Now let's proceed to another function called the Sortby. Now the Sortby is one of the DA functions. Now I love the function so much, it's able to do quite a lot. All right, now let's see the sort by. So we have this data set formatted as an Excel table. Come right here, equal sign, sort. And can see the sort by sorts a range or array based on the values in a corresponding range or an array. So open my parentheses, and we have the two compulsory arguments to supply. Now, I actually want to provide the entire table, so as my array, comma, and for the by what? Now you can actually even do maybe by any column or even by dates. Now let's do by dates. So I'm going to just throw in the text function, which converts the value to a text in a specific number format, open parentheses. And for my value, I'm going to select the date column. So we have the nomenclature of the name of the table and the square bracket, the name of the column, comma. So for the format text, now let's say I actually want to format this data using the date format dd/mm/triple YYYY, and then we can just put open parentheses and just do dd/mm/YYYY, and then we close that up for Excel to understand. Now this is my own date format. Okay, in Nigeria we have the day, the month, and the year. Now if your date format is in, let's say, month, day, and year, you must ensure that this has to be month, day and year, so I can get the accurate result. So close parenthesis for the text and for the sort by. So if we do F9, so we have bunch of value that is going on behind the formula. Control Z, Control Enter, and we have the data sorted by the specified values. So you can actually see the 4th of January 2005 and so on and so forth. Now the sort by, as some of us know, performs ascending order. Okay, so I do control down arrow key, you can actually see on the 4th of December 2020. So it performs ascending order. Now let's say I want to change the order, comma, I want to change the order, the sort order. I can actually choose descending order, which is -1. I'm going to sort that from descending order. So it's a choice. It's exactly what you want to achieve. So you have the flexibility of doing the ascending order or the descending order. Let's just go ahead with the ascending order. Now, you can even just sort, just say by year. So let me just get rid of this. And we have, year, control, enter, and we have it sorted. We have the 2005, and we have the 2020 below. So you have flexibility of doing the way you want it. It's such a powerful function. Now let's do, and as well, you can do by month, Now, because we have two value representing the month, so you must ensure you have the only to month 4. Control enter, then we have it sorted a month. We have the month of January downwards, okay? Or let's say you want to do by day, DD, and we have it in that particular order. It's such a powerful function. Now let me just leave it back in the main order that we started with. And then you can actually do one more. You can even provide, comma, the sort order, we are fine with this, comma, and then you can even sort by another array. Let's say I want to sort by the cars column, so I can select this. And having done that, you can even select the order, but that's fine. Close parenthesis, enter. Oh, excuse me. Okay, comma. Let's do by 1 ascending order, and then we have it sorted. Okay, it's a choice what you're trying to achieve. So I think we'll enjoy that and probably use that often. Okay, let's go to the sequence function, which is perhaps the second most powerful function for me. Now, the sequence function, as some of us know, can actually generate some numbers for us. That's the sequence, it returns a sequence of numbers. Now, the input value is the row. Let's say I just want 10 rows. This is just the basic close. It's going to give me 1 to 10. Now, I need to format this as not date, but general. And then we have 10. So if you come to the formula, let's say you want how many columns? 3 columns. I'm going to scale to the column, to other column to the left, to the right. So let's just get rid of this and say general. Okay, now this is just the basic. Now let's see how we can use this sequence in combination with the index function to reorder our columns. Now let's see how to reorder columns. You don't need to be copying and be pasting. That's going to be a long process, which can also be error prone. Now you can actually use the combination of the sequence and the rows function and the index function to reorder columns. Now let's start equal sign sequence. Now the sequence requires the row. For this row, I'm going to train the rows function. And for the array, what do I want? I want the entire table, okay? And I close. So when I do F4, you can see we have 1 to 20. So rows of data down in our data set. Control Z. Now let me just wrap index function, the path index function outside. And then what do I want? I want the entire table also, comma, and this is going to be our row number input value. And for the column number input value, I'm going to just throw in the match function, or you can even use the X match. It's fine. So for the lookup value, so the value you want to look up all this value here. And then, comma, in the array, I want to change the headers and close. Select the exact match, press my tab key, close my match and close the index. So control enter. Absolutely cool. So we have this, state of, Lagos, the state, the customer type, and the sales amount. So we have all these looking good. Now, let's say we actually want to change the column to, let's say, sales manager. Can you see that it updates? So I have this drop down here that you can actually change. So everything is updating. This is absolutely cool. And this as a result of the index, the sequence function that we deployed inside our powerful index function. Now, let's move to the next thing we have in stock. Let's see how to use the Wolfram, or how to enable the Wolfram registry. Now, the Wolfram data types, which is located in the data tab on the ribbon, come to data types. We have quite an array of Wolfram data types. And also we have the stocks, the currency, and the geography. Now, we have quite a lot of things. Now, all these things are available in the data channel of Excel for M365 or Excel for Office 365. And you need to be subscribed to the beta channel to have it. Now, if you have a beta channel and you do not have it, I'm going to just show you a quick way on how to just proceed to your registry key on your laptop, on your computer, and enable it. So let's see that. I'm going to just open my system and type in registry. So in my registry, click on registry editor. Okay, and I click on yes. So let me just reshare so I can see what I'm doing clearly. So this is my registry editor. So just type in on the window bar of your laptop or your keyboard, just type in the registry editor, click on yes, and it's going to move you down to this location. Now, I have actually enabled my home, but let me just walk you through how to enable it on your home. Now, we have all this on our computer. So you need to select this H key underscore current user. And when you select that, you have all these options. And then you select this software, okay? Click on the software. And after you click on the software, then you see so many options. I have download manager. So click on Microsoft. And under the Microsoft, you see all other options like the Office. So click on Office and you choose 16 and then you choose Excel. Okay, now when you choose that, you just come right in, okay, after Excel, you choose option, yeah, and then you'll be led to display. So this is just the command, computer H key underscore current underscore user / software / Microsoft / Office 16 / Excel and options. Now, when you get here, please ensure that you do not alter anything here because that can actually affect the performance of your Excel. So if you have no knowledge of this, please don't alter anything around here. It's very important. Now, I have my own Wolfram. Let me just expand this because I've been here for some couple of times, so I understand how it works. So this is my own Wolfram data types. So you can just, to enable the key, just right click on this page and choose new. And very importantly, choose the word 32-bit value. Now, you may be wondering, your system is operating 64-bit. So as my own, but this only works by you choosing 32-bit, irrespective of your system operating 64-bit. So click on this, and then you can just give a meaningful name. Just say, let's say Wolfram or whatever you want to type, enter. And then, now this is my own Wolfram. So this is what I need. This is the key that performs the magic. So just right click and choose modify. Now in the modify, you see the value name. And for the value data, all you need to do is to type in 14C5. When you type 14C5, now this one's going to be in hexadecimal base, so that's fine. Then you click on OK. So when you click on OK, then you can close your entire Excel workbook, the entire workbook, and reopen it. So when you do that, you will be able to see all your Wolfram data types, which is available in Excel. So as I've said, this only works with you being subscribed to the beta channel of M365 or Office 365. Now, just to emphasize the LAMBDA function and the Xlookup function, now they are also available in M365 or Office 365. Now, if you do not have some of these LAMBDA functions yet, probably you are operating the older versions, you can access all these functions in Excel for the web. So all you need is just an Outlook email, which can allow you to sign in, and then you can access the Excel on the web and try out the dynamic array function. Though I'm not sure whether the lambda function is there. I've not tried that, but I'm sure that the Xlookup, the lambda functions, the dynamic array functions, the filter, sequence, sort by, unique, are all available in Excel for the web. So you can always try that out. So after you've gone through the steps I've shown you, you should be able to see all your Wolfram data types, and these are extremely powerful things. Now, the brain, the logic behind this is that it allows you to get a lot of information without stepping out of Excel. So you don't need to be operating on Excel. Maybe you're working on Excel and you want to get that information on Wikipedia or Google. You don't need to go out. At least quite a lot is available in this Wolfram Alpha. Now let's just see how some of these things can be used. Now let me just, before I come to the Wolfram Alpha, let me just show you, this stock. Now let's say I want to get, stock, historical stock information of a particular company. Let's say for example, Microsoft, which we know that the ticker symbol is MSFT, okay, for Microsoft. So having typed in the value, stay on the same cell, and I click on stocks. And then we'll be able to see coming up to the right of our screen, the data selector. So we're seeing that coming up. Now we have quite so many options. Now, the first one is actually showing up. Let me just expand this so you can see it more clearly. Now we have the Microsoft Corporation. Now this is actually showing up the stock for the NASDAQ stock exchange. And we also have other stock exchanges. We have the Italian Borsa. So you can actually get the Microsoft, historical stock record in the Italian stock exchange. And we have the German, this is German, Wiener, Bahas, and we have the Santiago, the Spanish, the Spain stock exchange in Spain. So we have the Santiago stock exchange. Now, if you are looking for, let's say, the NASDAQ, choose the first one, but each one, the Italian, choose the second one, depending on choice. Now, I'm going to click on this select, and then we have this ready. This is absolutely cool. Now, I can actually click on this card to show the card, and we have quite a bunch of information. So you can actually see we have the values, and you see the logo coming up. So we have the price, the name of the exchange, the official name, the last trade date, which was still today, and we have the dates. So we have quite a number of information. Now you can even just select all these things inside the column. So just select this icon, and you can choose, let's say you want to see the list of employees. So Microsoft, based on this data set of these data types, rather, they have 163,000 employees. So let's say we want to get other information. We want to see the industry where they're operating, which we know software and IT services. Hi, I'm so sorry for that. Just a network problem. Apology for that network problem. Okay, so we are back. Apology for that. Now, if you want to get the stock, just reference the value in cell F1, and then we can specify the date. So let's say we want to get from year 2005. So you can actually just specify the date by just putting date. And let's say we want to go back to 2005. We want the month of January. And let's say for the day, let's say we want January 4th, 2005, close parenthesis, comma. And for the end date, which is an optional argument, we can actually even throw in the day function in there, dot close parenthesis, comma. Now it's going to perform a daily. Okay, so let's close this and do control enter. Then we await. So we have the result ready. So these are the dates specified. When we do control down arrow key, we have all the dates ready. Now let's go ahead and modify this forward. So this is, of course, the spell ranges, which we know. This is where the formula is actually located originally. So comma. Now for the interval, let's say we want monthly, comma, and for the headers, we want to show instrument identifier and header. So it's going to be given 2. And for the properties, now for the property, we want date, which is 0. Property 2, let's say we want to say open stock. I want to say close. Then I want to say I and the low. And of course, finally, I want to say the volume of the trade. So close my stock history, control enter, and wow, we have a bunch of information ready without having to go outside of Excel. So when we come down, we can see all the volume. Okay, this is absolutely amazing. So this is how to use the stock history function. Now let's go to the Wolfram data types. Let's say we want to get some information about people. Let me just put in, the name of the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi. I believe I'm correct. Okay, so you can actually get information about people that come in here. And now if you click on this automatic, it's going to, of course, still show the information, but let's be specific. Let's choose people, and then we'll see the information coming up. Okay, so it's ready. So we have this little icon, and it's going to show the image. Now this is Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, and we have all the information about him, his full name, the date of birth, place of birth. Vadnagar is a politician. Now, if you choose this icon, click on this, you can actually extract that into another cell. And we can actually get more information about the Vajnagar. I hope I pronounce it accurately. So click on this card. And then we know that, okay, we can see that this location is located in the administrative region of Gujarat, India. And so many other information. Let's see some information about Narendra Modi. Come to this, click on this. You can check the full name. And let's see the place of birth or siblings. You can even get information about the siblings, Soma, Prahlad, Pankaj, and so on and so forth. So we do not need to leave Excel with that. I mean, before we can actually get this bunch of information. Okay, so let's say the spouse or the spouses, if he has more than one wife. So you can actually see the information. This is absolutely cool. And the same thing, you can actually even get information about university. Let's want to get, or about city. Let's do the city of Hyderabad. Hyderabad. I hope I'm correct. Hyderabad. Okay, good. So let's come here and choose city, and then we wait for it to come up. Now you need to ensure that the spelling is accurate so that you can get exactly a good result coming up. So I'm waiting for this to show up. So as we know, Hyderabad is a city in India, and we can get the information in Excel. Oh, okay. So I think there's a, okay, yeah, I missed the letter Hyderabad. Okay, I think this is the accurate word. Okay, yeah, the E is missing, Hyderabad. Pardon me for that. Now this is the information. Just click on select, and we have the information ready. So we're going to see the map of the Hyderabad located in the Telangana administrative region. Of course, it's in India. Just get so many information. Let's say you want to get the nicknames, the city of Pils, city of Nixam, quite a lot of information. The population, 6 million plus. Wow, very close to Lagos population. Okay, so these are information that you can actually get with the power of the Wolfram data types in Excel. Absolutely cool. And let's say you want to get information about movie, you can always do that. Information about university, just play around. They are all pretty handy to use. And these are some of the things that makes Excel powerful even in the last few years. Now, finally, we can actually see the Power Query data types. That's another game changer in Excel. Of course, we have this data. Let's say I actually want to create the data types, which allows us to collapse all these columns into a single column based on the criteria we define in the Power Query. So just come here, come to the Insert tab of the ribbon, the Data tab, and then you can actually get this by clicking on this from table /range. Or you can even do right click and choose get data from table /range. Now this is only available, the right click is available, I think, in Office 365 and M365. However, if you do not have that, you can always come to the Data tab of the ribbon and you choose from table /range, and then depending on the volume of the data, we should be able to see the Power Query editor and then create our data types that we can import back to a table in Excel and just see how it can help us on our day-to-day operation. Now we have this ready. Okay, this is the Power Query editor. Now I'm just going to transform this to date data type. Okay, so I don't want the date time, so replace current, and I don't need any changes again. Now come to the transform tab of the Power Query ribbon, and to the far right of your screen we have the structured column, and then click on this create data type. So click on this, and by definition it collapses the selected columns into a data type. So I click on that, and then we can specify the order that we want it. So we have this intermediate create data type dialog box. So we want the advanced. So I click on this advanced. Now you can actually see the available columns, and there is only a single column because we are currently located in the order date. So I'm going to just click on this. Now you don't need to be adding it one after the other. Just hold down your shift key and I select the total, and everything is selected. That is the shortcut. And I click on add. So everything will be added to our selected columns. Now, I don't want the display column to be date, so I actually want it to be account manager. Okay, so that's going to be the display date, and then let's just give it a meaningful data type name, my result, or anything you want. And finally, I click on OK, and then we have the columns collapse into a single data type, and we have this icon, the show card. And when I click on this upward pointed black, the arrows, so we have all the columns here. So you don't need to touch anything here. Escape. And then I come to the home tab of the ribbon and close and load tool. So meaning that we close in a Power Query editor and want to load the data back to Excel and use the Power Query data type. So we want it to be dumped in a table, and let's say we want it in an existing sheet. So I can actually just select, let's say I want to put it in J2, click OK, and then we have the queries and connection tax pane coming up to the right, and the data is being imported into Excel. Absolutely, this is magical. So this narrows down your report, okay, into a single data type. Now, you can even click on this show card. I'm going to show all the information for the selected the sales manager column, which is Yvonne Matthew. And you can see the order date, all the transaction recorded, okay? And when I click on this icon to insert in the column, excuse me, click on this insert, and we can actually create multiple columns. So let's say we need a customer type column. So click on customer type. Wow, absolutely cool. We have it ready. Let's see, we want one more, let's say the states, and we have everything ready. So this is absolutely some of the game changers in Excel. They are extremely powerful and they make our life more interesting, simplified. So this is Power Query data types. Okay, you can always play around with it. If you have it in your beta channel, you can always have it. So I think I've been able to cover all what I have in stock for us today. So if there are questions, we can proceed to take the questions. Over to you, Nima. Any questions? Okay, do we have questions? So we've been able to cover all the stuff we have in stock for us today. And I hope we enjoy the session. So any questions?
So we do have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Why does these formulas do not work when they are a part of a table?
Okay, which are the formulas specifically?
I think they're talking about the lambda formula, sir.
Okay, is it this or which of them?
So the formulas are not specified.
I want to get the question clearly. So which of the formula doesn't work? Everything is working.
So they've not mentioned which formula it is, but they've just blindly given why does these formulas does not work when they are a part of a table.
Well, okay, if I understand what you are trying to say or what the person is trying to ask, now, as some of us knows about the lambda function, that for us to return the lambda function, to return a reasonable result for the lambda function, we need to recall the function by using the another open parenthesis and close and select the columns based on the parameters that we specified. Now, this is what I'm trying to say. Let's say we have this lambda, the function name. Okay, let me see. Okay, yeah, the sum by month. Okay, let me just borrow this. This is what I'm trying to say. Okay, F2, Control A to select Control A, escape. Now, let's say I want to record this, paste. Okay, it's going to work in the manner because I actually specified this this array that, okay, give me the dates, the cars, and the sales amount columns. So it's really working. I hope I've been able to answer the question, or maybe the person can actually be more specific about the questions or which of the tabs. Any other questions?
So with this, I don't think there are any other questions.
Okay. All right. So most of these that you have seen today, quite a lot of them are actually useful, or we can use them inside the beta channel. We can see them in the beta channel. And I believe in the current channel, the dynamic array has been flighted to the channel. So if you have the current channel or the beta channel, you should be able to do some of these, excluding the lambdas, because the lambdas is not in the current channel. Because yesterday night I tried that on another of my laptop that is operating the current channel M365, but it's not working. So the lambda function is currently available to the beta channel. So if you want to do that, you can actually subscribe and be part of the beta channel. Over to you, Harlinda.
So could we ask some more questions from our end?
Okay.
Okay, would you suggest freshers to enroll in formal training, sir, like on tools like Excel, Power BI, Tableau, etc.?
Yes, of course. I'm going to recommend. Okay, are you saying that? Do you recommend training for that? Can you take the question again?
Abila, her question is, general perception is not most of the people enroll for a formal training on the Power BI, Excel, and Tableau. Okay.
Yes, please. Yes,
With your exposure, do you feel is it important that the training has to be given as part of the college curriculum, as part of the school curriculum, or should it only?
absolutely. Absolutely. Now, last year, if exactly today, exactly 1 year ago, I wrote a mail to a vice chancellor in a university in Nigeria. And when I sent a mail to the vice chancellor that, okay, I want to offer the students, particularly the Microsoft Excel and Power BI, the vice chancellor wrote back to me that, wow, this is a good initiative, that is so grateful. And they made the platform available, and I was able to even teach this. And believe me sincerely, most of our students just have some of this in our curriculum, so they do not have this kind of knowledge.
The reason
A
why
good
the reason why she asked the question is there's a perception that on-the-job training is sufficient, and most of the people with the limitation of the knowledge, they feel they know advanced. Now, example,
apps.
when you showed some examples, now example as simple as a data type in Power Query, it is something new. It is something new, and it can ease out a lot of. It can provide a lot of solutions for people who require some information. So,
Absolutely.
so where do we draw a line for training, and how does it help us in when a fresher joins employment or a professional with a 5 year experience or 10 year experience? How does it help in his career? Can you just throw
Okay,
your
yeah,
line
thank
because
you.
you have been exposed to audience from globally, so just want to share know your knowledge. I mean exposure.
Yes. Now, to answer the question, now we have this challenge in Nigeria. I want to believe it applies to some other countries, let's say developing countries around the world. Now, there are so many of us or some companies who do not see the reason why they need to formally train their staffs on these technologies. Now, I'm going to give you an example just to answer the question. Now, around 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, I was invited to train the staffs at the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources in Nigeria, in our capital city, in Abuja. Now, when I went for the training, I was actually invited by I think the number 5 in command, in the chain of command, from the Minister of State of Petroleum. So is the person being in charge of is the Director of Human Resources Management anyway. So when I went there for the training, and the man confided, look, I'm limited in this knowledge of Excel. And I found that Excel is very important, not for me, but for other people. So when I trained them on Excel, they were so surprised that, wow, we thought we know Excel, but we don't even know anything. Now, even during the course of the training, I did something. One of the participants asked me that, okay, is it possible to do this thing in Excel? And I said, yes, it's possible, because if you know how to find a way in Excel, you always get accurate results. So I did that operation in less than 30 seconds. In less than 30 seconds. Now, do you know the interesting thing? This same guy, the previous week before I came for the training, he was given that same task, and he used 5 hours to do what I did under 30 seconds. It was almost crying that, wow, this is a good time saver. And I told them this is the importance of training. Company, they need to train their staffs, because quite so many people, they believe that, oh, if they're able to do 1 or 2 things in Excel, they are very good in Excel. No, there is absolutely a lot to learn in Excel. And it takes a training company like Excel in Excel to at least facilitate a training for companies, and they'll be able to do well. Because I usually say something that if you don't train your staffs, you make them to become unproductive. They are not that productive, particularly in the area of working on Excel, because they'll be doing things manually. And if you're doing things manually, it's actually making your business or your operation to be slowed down. So if you train your staffs formally on these technologies, they become more efficient, they become more productive, and you can even get a lot of things done without having to subject yourself to frustration, because there are so many people that are so frustrated when they encounter some difficult things in Excel. But a formal training will eradicate all those frustrations, and people will be able to, of course, be able to do a lot in Excel. Now, coming back to the area of curriculum, I actually believe that our curriculum planners in Nigeria and every part of the world, we need to bring this into our curriculum, particularly from the, let's say, our high school, secondary school, we need to bring at least introduce to our curriculum. And very importantly, at the university level, this has to be a main course that every student must participate. They must sit for it and they must pass it, and it must be complete practical, because if they have this knowledge, it becomes easy for them to transition into the workforce, for them not to just get a job and you'll be struggling. So if you have a good foundation knowledge, then you can actually get a job and do better. And that's not the reason why I offer the free Excel training to some university in Nigeria. I partner with some non-governmental organizations and of course some universities. I just give them free trainings. Now, the reason I'm doing that is, of course, to equip them with all the skills, the Excel and the Power BI skills particularly. And of course, I do Tableau also, but Excel and Power BI, which is particularly common in every organization. So I felt, look, they need to have this kind of skills so that as they are leaving the university environment, they will at least be able to settle into corporate world. And they are embracing that. And I think rather, we should have more experts, in our various countries. We should try to at least approach some universities. If we have the enablement, let's give their students, some free trainings or a subsidized training so that they can have this knowledge and they'll be able to do well after they leave the university or their polytechnics. Over to you.
Happy to know, Tabila. I mean, I'm happy that you're offering a lot of free courses for the college students and university students, and I hope many people benefit from this initiative.
Absolutely.
I just want to share, I mean, also want to understand with the Global Excel Summit coming up shortly. This will be the first event after 35 years where Excel community members are gathering together. So,
Okay.
how excited are you?
So, come again. I will.
How excited are you to
Oh,
participate
yes.
in the
Oh,
Global
I'm
Excel?
excited. Yeah, I'm excited. Though I'm not going to be participating, I'm not one of the speakers, but I have no doubt that all the speakers that are lined up to deliver, different sessions, they are, of course, as we know, they are top industry experts in this Excel technology. So I believe strongly that all the participants will have what's called a swell time, that is a nice time, because there's a lot of information to be shared by these folks who will be delivering different sessions. So I want to encourage the people who actually be joining training to be ready and be willing to learn and unlearn, because they're going to be learning new things. So they need to unlearn all they have learned in the past and acquire new knowledge that will be shared by these, mighty experts in Excel technology. So I'm going to encourage them to subscribe. It's actually something not expensive to subscribe. If you look at the quality and the quantity of the information that will be given out during the sessions, different sessions, it's going to outweigh the amount for the summit. So I recommend people to actually go for the summit, be ready, and I believe strongly that their life won't probably remain the same as far as Excel is concerned. Over to you.
One personal question. What was a sparking or a turning point in your life to take Excel as a career? I mean, to give much more focus. This is my
Thank you very
personal
much.
question.
Thank you for the question. Now, I was actually working, I actually had a paid job in my previous job. Now, I was doing the job and I enjoyed what I was doing then. However, as things be, I left the job. So when I left the job, I actually had no reason, I don't plan to begin to teach Excel, though I use Excel extensively on my previous paid job. I use Excel a lot, but I never actually even think of a training outfit. Now, when I left the paid job, and as the situation will have it, I ultimately found myself training Excel. Now, I go into Excel not because I want to do Excel, or not because I know that I have a lot to share, but because something which I don't want to mention, which has to do with some religion belief, actually led me to Excel. So I'm doing Excel, And when I started Excel, it was a bit challenging, difficult for me because there are a handful of Excel trainers in Nigeria, particularly in Lagos, where we are based, where I'm based. I'm based in Lagos, the most populous in Nigeria. Now, there are quite a handful of Excel trainers, and it's also difficult for me to break in, for organizations, for company to know that this guy has a lot of things to offer, though he's a new entrant in this field. So what I did, or what motivated me, is that I actually tried to look for what I call goodwills. I was willing to offer free trainings. And that's why I partnered with an NGO in Nigeria. I was offer free Excel trainings. So I was willing to, at least not look at the financial aspect. I was offering Excel trainings. And when I was offering the Excel training, so that led to many people knowing about me and ExcelJet as a company, and that is the turning point. And of course, I always share my knowledge by writing on my YouTube channel, on my blog, and producing video on my YouTube channel. So I do this, and this has been helping the community.
Abiola, just sorry to interrupt. Can you just share your website and YouTube channel for the members so that they can benefit from it? I think some
Okay.
members from Romania and Nigeria are also there. So please share your YouTube channel and your website so that they can take a note of it.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm doing that now. So I'm going to encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel also, because there's a lot of things that I shared on weekly basis. So I share quite a lot of information, and it's going to do you a lot of good. And please remember to also subscribe to the Excel in Excel channel, because I want to believe strongly that we have this video, this session will be put on the YouTube channel for you to watch. So if you have probably missed the channel, you can always come back to watch it on the Excel in Excel channel. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we have a lot of things to learn. Now, this is my YouTube channel, so you can actually see, just see Abiola David ExcelJet, and this is quite an interesting thing. You see some of my videos.
You can also share the URL. We'll share the URL in the chat section so that members can take a note of this.
Okay, website rather?
You can just share the URL so we can just put in. Thank you, Abiola.
Okay, all right. So this is my website. Okay, so my website, you can always visit exceljetconsult.com.ng. So you can see so many information. You can come to the blog section to see what I have in my blog. So these are some of my trainings for different companies in Nigeria. And just go through it, you see so many information. And this is my MVP award. So I'm privileged to be one of the MVPs.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So we have the blog. I regularly post on the blog site, and there are loads of information. So if you are interested in probably watching blog, or probably watching videos, you can always come to the YouTube channel and get a lot of information. Over to you. Okay, this is my blog. Okay, so this is my blog. You can always come in and just check out one or two things. All right, over to you.
Thank you. A lot to learn from you. I will hand over the session to Linda. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abiola.
Thank you very much for the valuable session, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
And on behalf of Excel and Excel, I thank you for taking time and sharing your wisdom.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm grateful.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Participants, you all can stay back for some announcements.
Okay. All right. So once again, I'm really grateful for the opportunity given to me to just share my knowledge with you. I hope you've actually found one of the things useful in Excel. And I wish all the best. Make sure you subscribe to the Excel in Excel YouTube channel, because there's a lot of things on the channel. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for being with us today.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you.